Some urban legends fade over time, but others refuse to be forgotten. They change. Details shift, but the warning always remains the same. This is one of those stories. A car, a boy, a girl, and something waiting in the dark. The road stretched for miles, empty and silent. The only light came from the moon, hanging low behind drifting clouds. Inside the parked car, the engine hummed softly. See? No nosy parents, no cops, just us and the stars. She smirked, leaning back against the seat. This place is kind of creepy, though. That's what makes it fun. He nudged her. No one comes out here at night. She glanced out the window, the woods pressing in like silent spectators. Then the radio crackled, a burst of static, followed by a voice.
This is an emergency broadcast. Authorities have issued a public safety alert. A dangerous inmate has escaped from Ravenswood Asylum. He was last seen heading south on Route 22. Authorities warn that he is armed and extremely dangerous. He is described as a male approximately 6 feet tall, last seen wearing a hospital gown. The most distinctive feature, he is missing his right hand. If you see anything suspicious, do not approach. Stay indoors, lock your doors, and call 911 immediately. This has been an emergency alert from the state police. Stay safe and stay inside.
The transmission cut out, swallowed by static. She sat up, uneasy. Did that just say someone escaped? He laughed, reaching for the dial. Relax, it's just one of those broadcasts to scare people. It said to stay inside. Maybe we should listen. He rolled his eyes. We are inside. You know what I mean. Let's just go. It's fine. Whoever it was is probably nowhere near here. She crossed her arms. Or they are. Come on, really? He grinned, shaking his head. You're acting like we're in a horror movie. It's probably some prank call to scare people out of parking in spots like this. She stared at him, unconvinced. Okay, we'll go. He turned the key. The engine sputtered once, twice, then nothing. She stiffened. What? He tried again. Click, click, click. Her breath quickened. Why isn't it starting? Relax. He turned the key again. More clicks. No ignition. She clenched her jaw. This isn't funny. I'm not joking. He exhaled sharply. Probably just the battery. Great. So we're stuck. No, we're not. I'll check it out. He reached for the handle. She grabbed his arm. Wait, don't go. He gave her a look. I have to. We can just stay inside, wait for morning. He smiled. Scared? She didn't answer. I'll be 2 minutes. He stepped out, the door creaking behind him. Then silence. The woods swallowed him. Minutes passed. She swallowed hard and leaned forward. She cupped her hands around her mouth and called out, Hey, can you hear me? Silence. She tried again, louder this time. Hello? Where are you? Still nothing. The car suddenly felt smaller. The night outside, endless. Her fingers gripped the edge of her seat, nails pressing into the fabric. Every sound outside felt magnified. The occasional rustle of leaves, the creak of branches shifting in the wind. Then it was gone. The wind had died down, and the crickets had stopped. It was so quiet she could hear her own heartbeat. She swallowed. She glanced at the door handle. Go check on him. Her fingers hovered over the lock. Just a quick look, just to make sure. But then the silence stretched too long, too deep. Her stomach twisted. Stay inside. It's safer inside. She pulled her hand back, curling into the seat instead. Her body felt rigid, every muscle tense. She checked her phone. No service, of course. Her chest felt tight. She just had to wait. Just had to stay inside. Just had to. Her eyelids grew heavier. Seconds blurred into minutes. Minutes stretched into something longer. At some point, she stopped fighting it, and she slept. The first thing she noticed was the light. Pale morning sun seeped through the windshield, stretching long shadows across the dashboard. The second thing she noticed was the silence. Her breath stilled. She was alive. The doors were locked. She exhaled, relief loosening the knot in her chest. Then, drip, drip, drip. The sound was too soft to be rain, too deliberate to be nothing at all. A distant rumble cut through the trees, an engine, tires crunching over dirt. A sheriff's patrol car emerged from the winding road, red and blue lights flickering against the trees. A passing officer just making his rounds. The murmur of voices, firm, urgent. She exhaled, barely realizing she'd been holding her breath. Help was here. Her shaking fingers curled around the handle. She stepped out. Her shoe met damp earth. And just beside it, a single sneaker. Untouched, still. Her eyes lifted slightly to the nearest tree. Something was scratched into the bark. 3 words. I was here. An officer's hand caught her arm. Miss, don't look up. But the dripping. Her gaze lifted toward the source of the sound. Her scream never came. Some say it's just an urban legend, but legends have a way of coming back. Urban legends spread like whispers in the dark, changing, twisting, adapting to each generation. Maybe this one is just a story. Or maybe it's waiting for its next chapter. What do you think? Have you heard a different version?